We all feel them. The forbidden, the sinful, the taboo. Behaviors that divide cultures and inspire fear. But our differences may be what make us all human.
You are what you eat.
I have tried bugs, actually.
Some goats. I'm a vegetarian.
You are also what you don't eat.
We went out to Malaysia and they were eating monkey brains.
What you won't eat.
Forest snakes. They're creepy.
Both. No.
And what you can't imagine ever in a million years eating.
I won't eat a dog. That is just evil.
Cultures define themselves in no small part through food.
Food taboos are one of the places we can easily see the great diversities of human culture. Well, these are very simple, obvious, visible ways that cultures differ from each other on only the basis of imagination about what's right and what's wrong.
In this hour, dine at a restaurant in Thailand where each time he prepares a gourmet meal, the chef risks his life. Visit a Japanese inn famous for a house specialty that can kill you. Sample shocking treats from an entrepreneur in Southern California. Witness an African rite of passage in which the main course is man's best friend. And through it all, wonder, what would it take to get you to eat that? In Malaysian Borneo, a seasonal invasion is underway. Staff at hotels watch nervously for a food that is putrid, wretched, and loved by millions. Meet the durian. It is to Southeast Asia what the mango is to India, what the date is to the Middle East, and what the grape is to France. But for those unfamiliar with them, durians embody the first factor in what defines a taboo food. They're disgusting.
I can still smell it.
Taste it? You'll give me the kiss of life when I come round. I couldn't eat any more. Oh no, I could not eat any more. You like it?
Yeah, you do. We like it.
It may be life-giving, it may be full of vitamins, but it's certainly awful to taste. Maybe it's like a medicine, I don't know, but it's awful. See ya.
Taste can vary across cultures, but the nature of disgust is universal. And a food that's disgusting is taboo.
Disgust is a reaction of offense, of withdrawal from something that is seen as offensive or repulsive.
Psychologist Paul Rosin studies the nature of disgust.
It's actually got three parts: a dropping of the jaw, sometimes with a tongue extension, a wrinkling of the nose, and a raising of the upper lip.
So what makes the durian so disgusting? Well, the smell is hard to describe.
It smells like a rotten fish and custard. A rubbish dump.
Blue cheese.
Perhaps a dead dog.
With private parts. Drainage. Awful.
The fruit itself is quite disgusting.
Buono, ma brutto odore.
It's not an Estee Lauder perfume.
Other cultures love foods that smell strongly. Cheese, a favorite in the West, is actually rotted milk, a stench people in Asia find intolerable.
Different cultures have different things that are offensive to them. Durian fruit is an interesting example because it smells like rotted animal. Though it's not an animal food, it smells like rotted animal food. It smells like cheese. Now, cheese is disgusting if you don't like rotted milk, which means most people in the world.
Like cheese in France, durian is precious in Southeast Asia. Some believe it's worth killing for. Durian trees don't bear fruit until they're 15 years old. One reason a single durian can cost as much as $50 American. Here in Kuching, the capital of Malaysian Borneo, hotels are on the front lines of the durian war. When the fruit is in season, hotel managers maintain a constant vigil to keep it out. For them, the taboo is really about the bottom line. One funky fruit can scare off a hotel full of customers.
It goes into the curtains, it sticks into the carpet, it sticks into the bedspread.
It's just one room and the whole floor can be affected. Everybody knows it. You just can't hide it.
That doesn't stop people from trying to smuggle it in.
We can immediately smell it. And they always deny it, but we know that they've got them.
We had incidents that people came in and the room still smelled of durian.
The smell of the durian goes through the aircon ducts and it goes through every room and it just stays there forever.
Every hotel has its own method of dealing with a durian alert.
There's only two methods of getting rid of the smell we've found. One is charcoal. Charcoal absorbs the smell. And the other, that takes quite a long time. And the other one, we've got an ionizer that it's an industrialized one, and within 3 hours we can pull the smell out the room.
Please, no durians here, not in the hotel. Outside, in the fresh air you can do it, but definitely not here.
But perhaps hotels could solve the durian dilemma another way. By playing on foreign guests' own cultural preferences.
Let's suppose you had a hotel filled with French people in Southeast Asia, and some local ate a durian in a room, and it smelled the hotel. What you'd have to say to them is, "Oh, that's because we're serving some cheese in the dining room." "Oh, cheese, that smells great."
Taste and smell figure strongly in every culture's cuisine. Even so, in most places, people eat only a fraction of the food items available to them.
What's interesting about taboos is that they're often directed at some of the most potentially valuable foods.
How would you answer an invitation to eat a cheap, protein-packed meal with 6 legs? Every resort town in the U.S. has a candy store. But one store in Pismo Beach, California, goes beyond the usual taffy and caramel apples. If Hot Licks has its way, Americans will be snacking on everything from caterpillars and cockroaches to mealworm-covered apples.
Hungry, hungry, hungry. Step right in. No color, no middle. Would you like a second with a mermaid?
Oh, no, thank
you. Sure?
Yeah.
I got a second with a bug in it for you.
Okay.
Cricket.
Yay.
Larry Peterman is a candyman on a mission. For more than a decade, he's been promoting a valuable food source that most Americans find revolting. In a land of plenty, people resist. Larry knows why. From an early age, parents teach children to avoid insects.
In our culture, from the time that we're really small, we're taught to avoid insects. They might bite you like a mosquito or swat them. This has got a good cricket in it. Your mother says, "Oh, no, don't put that in your mouth, it's dirty."
What's the inside look like?
His head's gone.
Most cultures in the world don't eat most insects, except for little kids who'll eat anything that's small and moving, in any culture.
But kids aren't the only ones munching on bugs. Around the world, more than 1,400 insect species show up on menus. Insect eating, or etymophagy, is part of healthy diets in Asia, Africa, Australia, and Latin America. This trend is anything but new. Archaeologists have found evidence of it dating to the earliest humans.
Now enjoy.
Coming up, a group of Americans tries to down bugs at a dinner party. And later, a Thai chef risks his life to serve the house specialty, a deadly cobra. And villagers in Africa sacrifice a pet to honor their ancestors. Advocates of insect eating like to note that it's environmentally sound. Producing a pound of caterpillar takes 1/10 of the resources needed to produce a pound of beef. Insects brim with vitamins and minerals. They have about the same protein content as the flesh of mammals and birds. When dried, insects like grasshoppers have double or triple the protein. Despite all the benefits, most Americans can't stomach bugs.
Mostly we can't get beyond our food taboos. It's very difficult to dress up the things that we don't want to eat, like worms and bugs and snakes.
Carolyn Marvin is a communications professor at the University of Pennsylvania.
We have learned this from very early, that this is just not the kind of people we are. The kind of people we are do not eat these things, and we're very convinced of that.
In America, a country that reviles insects, bug eater Larry Peterman works hard to win converts.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Have a seat. Yeah.
His dinner parties emphasize the outrageous.
Well, folks, you're all here tonight to have a little treat.
The evening begins with Larry's version of the classic shrimp cocktail.
We just finished preparing a cricket cocktail. It's a lot like a shrimp cocktail, only instead of shrimp, we use crickets. Okay, folks, here's the first course. Now enjoy. This is a little treat you don't find in the States too much. While you're enjoying this, I'm going down and get your next course.
And the insects have a gradation of how disgusting they are. For example, most people would say a grasshopper is not as bad as a caterpillar, because a caterpillar is gushy, you know, and a grasshopper is sort of dry. And those are things that gushiness accentuates disgust.
The main course is a stir-fry with a special garnish. At this party, the issue isn't whether to choose red or white, but to get more than enough of whatever you're drinking. Call it courage in a glass.
Here we go. Dinner is served. Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I'm a little worried she's going to have bacteria.
Thank you.
Okay, ready?
Okay.
Go, straight, go. Look how many worms this poor guy has. So he's asking you to?
Several courses later, Larry presents his pièce de résistance.
Dinner I've had.
Okay, here it is, folks. What you've been waiting for. Now, don't everybody dive in until everyone's been served, please. We call them a Pismo surfer. What it is a banana with whipped cream and a really good cockroach on it. You don't have to eat the wings, you don't have to eat the head, unless you want to.
We're eating cockroaches here. Larry, God bless you. This is a
Thank you.
nice, elegant dinner.
I mean, where else would you get one?
You're the man. You go first.
I don't know of any place else in the world that you would get one of these.
Do you know where this cockroach has been?
Larry predicts he'll eventually win people over.
We can do another one next week if you like. As we become more and more insect food oriented, our taste is going to change. And so I see a niche for somebody that does gourmet insects. Could have some snob appeal, like people taste wine and say, ooh, this is a good one. This bug is good.
One way to divide the world is between those who eat insects and those who don't. But most food taboos revolve around animals.
Animal food is charged. Animal food is what people feel strongly about. We don't have meatitarians. We have vegetarians. So animal foods are the focus of taboo. Food taboo. Almost all of them are about animals. Not eating an animal means not killing it. And killing an animal is a subject of great ambivalence to you. That is, in order to sustain our life, we have to destroy some other life.
What if an exotic animal's flesh had medicinal powers? Would you eat it? And would you drink its blood? Thailand figures prominently in the atlas of world-class cuisine. Thai dishes vary almost endlessly, flavored by spices renowned around the globe. Bangkok's food markets overflow with exotic herbs, vegetables, and a meat department that's not for the squeamish. Just off a main highway is an oasis of country cooking, named for the owner, Jar Rung. For more than a quarter century, Jar Rung has served Thai standards such as curry and fish.
Prawn tom yum soup. Make it delicious. Don't put too much oil.
But the house specialty, the meal that brings diners from abroad, lurks in a dark corner beneath a sign reading, dangerous. Like seaside diners that keep live lobsters handy for boiling, Jar Rung has a cage full of cobras. Cobra venom ranks among the world's most virulent poisons. One bite and a human can die in minutes. Yet to many Asians, the cobra's deadly nature makes it a potent meal. Elsewhere, people eat snake when they have nothing else, and perhaps not even then. In Thailand, snake is considered an exotic food. Jia Rong first viewed serving it as a way to do more business.
ความจริงพื้นเพเราไม่ได้มีเกี่ยวกับการทำ I have no background or anything to do with snakes. แต่ว่าด้วยแรงบันดาล It's purely fate. เป็นที่บุญวาสนามากกว่าที่เราได้มาทำอาหารให้ประเภท Customers preferred something different than the regular duck, chicken, and pork. I worked it out and came up with the snake. เขากินกันได้ทั่วไปนึกขึ้นมาได้ก็เป็นงูเห่า
As word of his menu spread, he found his tables filling with customers from Hong Kong, Korea, and Japan, where people believe cobras have medicinal powers. He wondered what the attraction was.
I found a Chinese book mentioning that to prove the medicinal powers of a snake, take 3 cobras a week. I ate 3 snakes within 7 days. I could feel the result even before the 3rd one. I felt energetic, vigorous. My eyes were sharper and my aches were gone. Eventually, I didn't need my eyeglasses anymore.
He'd stumbled onto a magic recipe, but there was a hitch. Cobra meat fanciers want to eat snakes that are fresh and ferocious. So he found a cobra wholesaler and bought a mongoose, the cobra's worst enemy, to get the snake's blood up. The hard part is filling orders, which puts Jia Rong in harm's way. He got so good at it, he became a minor celebrity.
I never had any training. I only had guts. I was bitten several times, 5 or 6 times, but not severely, because it didn't reach a main artery.
At Jia Rong restaurant in Thailand, steady customer Sombat Kong Patum is hungry for his favorite snake. Sombat makes reservations at Jia Rong as often as he can.
Here they have the real thing. They don't trick you. They'll cut it open before your eyes. Another reason is that I used to have less hair, and since I've been eating snakes, my hair has grown back. So I got hooked.
I'll pick one for you, the most ferocious one.
Get a good one, a big one.
No problem.
As often as 7 times a day, Jia Rong risks death to keep his customers satisfied.
I have to admit that I'm scared and stressed, because if I fail, it means my life. But I have a motto. Don't be careless. The snake can kill.
The classic confrontation is cobra versus mongoose. But this serpent is going after the human. Some believe the angrier the cobra, the stronger its medicinal properties. They say pumping blood enhances the power.
Since the cobra can't harm the mongoose, it gets mad and its blood circulates strongly. It's a natural law. Like when we're angry, we turn red as well. When the blood is charging, the gallbladder is working hard. At the same time, the blood will flow through the flesh. When we cook the meat, it will be sweet and very delicious.
Winded by exertion, the cobra has had enough. But Jia Rong knows to watch those fangs very closely. To outsiders, the process might seem cruel, but in many cultures, meat eaters never see the realities of the slaughterhouse. The killing happens far away, out of sight.
Every culture has its own determination for what is cruel and what isn't, what is a taboo and what isn't.
Kamari Clark is an anthropologist at Yale University.
When you think about cows and you want to buy a hamburger, you don't necessarily say, I'll have a dead cow, quarter pounder, please. What you say is, I'll have a quarter pounder. The name doesn't match the name of the animal, and there are many ways that we are shielded from the reality of the object, what it was versus what it became.
Here, nothing is shielded. Jia Rong makes the appetizer, a tall glass of bile and blood.
Great thick blood. Some cobras don't have as much blood. But this one was wild. The blood was charging.
The chef locates the snake's gallbladder. He adds its contents, gastric juices, to a cocktail that would have some people heaving at the mere thought of it. Sombat Kong Patam says he drinks a dozen of these a month.
At first I wondered whether it was going to stink, be pungent or something. When I actually drank it, it's sweet and clears the throat.
If the drink's strength does come from ferocity, that was a heavy dose of cobra power. The snake's heart is still beating. And even without its skin, the body writhes. Jiarong goes through 30 to 40 cobras a month, mostly for regular customers. It's not a meal for everyone.
Asian customers will eat anything, but the Europeans will be selective. White people have tried it, but just for a taste, to see how it was.
At Jiarong, two popular versions are fried cobra and minced cobra stir-fried with chilies. Chopped and cooked, the snake could pass for chicken. Sombat likes the meat, but he really comes for the appetizer.
I would love to drink the Bailan blood every day, but I can't always afford it. Whenever I have the money, I get it right away, because my body feels good, strong.
To complaints of cruelty to cobras, Jiarong says he honors the snake's spirit by serving its meat to heal.
I believe that I didn't harm the snake directly. Some people, when they have illnesses, traditional Thai or Chinese doctors will prescribe them snake, roasting or grinding it with herbal medicine. If those people are cured, I'm doing a good deed, saving their lives. I will then pass on the merit to the spirits of those I sacrificed.
There's a lot of issues going on with, say, drinking the cobra blood. There's the sense of manliness, of not being chicken, especially in public. And then, of course, there's the possibility that you really feel that this is going to be good for you, that this is good medicine.
Coming up, the Japanese chef prepares a dish to die for. The deadly pufferfish. And later, a village feast in Africa features roasted dog. Riding high atop the food chain, humans enjoy the luxury of feeling guilty about what they eat. But what if a rare and delicious meal could put your life at risk? Would you eat cuisine that could kill you? Japan is crazy for fish. Each morning, thousands of merchants crowd Tsukiji Seafood Market in Tokyo. At Tsukiji, no product has a higher price than the one that's the most taboo, the puffer. It's the seafood version of Russian roulette, an extremely poisonous fish that the Japanese call fugu. Despite its danger, fugu appears on more than 80 menus in the Asakusa restaurant district. So ugly, it's cute. The puffer doesn't fool most diners.
I think twice before eating it. People say if you eat it, you die. Don't they say it's like being shot by a gun? A kabuki actor died a while ago. Even a little of that poison is trouble.
Tom Caradonna mastered Japanese in college. Now he's in Tokyo for the full fugu experience, and he's brought along his friend, Aki. Prudently, Tom has chosen to eat at Matsumoto. This 120-year-old fugu palace is known for careful preparation. Important when you're dealing with a toxin 1,000 times stronger than cyanide.
I've been scaring him about how fugu poison is dangerous, but he says he's want to try, so I won't stop him.
I'd heard stories about people dying, of trying the fugu, but it hasn't really concerned me.
All the good humor in the world can't bury the risk. Over the years, hundreds of people have died from eating fugu.
You die within 4 to 6 hours.
4 to 6 hours you die, and we have lists here for all the years that, in the cases and the number of deaths. So when I looked at this, it turned out to be more of a reality of, there is in fact a danger.
What's the lure in a meal that could end your life?
People like to be near danger. So there's this urge in almost all cultures to do things that are somewhat dangerous, or at least seem dangerous, and to eat things that are seem to be inappropriate to eat.
Chef Hayashi has Tom's life in his hands.
It'll be fine. Don't worry. I've been doing this for 53 years. I took the exam in 1949 and passed. This is my fugu chef license.
This is the license.
Who do you think set up the licensing system? General MacArthur.
After World War II, fugu fatalities skyrocketed. Starving Japanese would comb restaurant trash bins. They'd salvage discarded fugu, grill the scraps, and die. So General Douglas MacArthur, who led the American occupation force, imposed strict controls. Fugu chefs had to get licenses. Hayashi was one of the first certified. Even with the stricter rules, death by fugu claimed 2,500 Japanese between 1945 and 1975. Regulation and education have cut the death toll to only 3 per year. But dozens of diners still get sick from fugu.
About 70% of the poisonings happen in private homes where people catch and prepare fugu on their own and get poisoned. That's most common.
A poster warns amateurs about the dangers of preparing fugu at home. At Tokyo University of Fisheries, Nagashima Tuji analyzes fugu poison. He hopes to develop an antitoxin for fugu.
A tiger fugu has enough toxin to kill 30 people. The toxin itself, to give you an idea, is 1,000 times stronger than cyanide.
This is 1 milligram of toxin, enough to kill you. The neurotoxin kills by paralyzing nerves. Victims can't move or breathe, but they are fully conscious until their lungs fail. The only way to save victims is to use a respirator to breathe for them until the toxin wears off. In 1949, when Chef Hayashi took his puffer exam, he had to dissect an entire fish, identify its toxic organs, and prepare sashimi, sliced raw fish, all in 10 minutes. Only half the chefs who take the test pass.
This is the heart. These are the gills. They are poison.
Fugu connoisseurs rave about the puffer's liver. They admit it's highly toxic, but say that in small doses the poison produces euphoria.
People want to eat this. The liver. It's strong poison. 30 to 50 grams of this will kill you.
Toxins taint about half the usual puffer. Chefs throw those parts out. The remainder costs $35 a pound, one of Japan's most prized meals. Chefs slice the flesh paper thin, arranging it in the shape of a chrysanthemum, the national flower. And appropriately enough, the choice for funerals in Japan.
Itadakimasu. Oishii. Arigatou gozaimasu. I can still breathe. The fin's still in it.
A typical fugu meal runs 8 courses, including sake with dry-roasted fugu fin.
And I still feel fine.
And grilled fugu.
I think that's the best.
By any measure, it's a feast. But even the master chef eyes it warily.
I long for a fugu, but I also value my life.
To face death itself and to come out on the other side is one of the most powerful things we can do in feeling a sense of our own capacity, our own potential. And so we set up symbolic experiences in which we regularly confront the possibility of death, which is what we face every day.
I don't know how long it takes for the poison to set in. Maybe the taste is worth it.
A meal that could kill you may seem like the ultimate food taboo. But for many people, the most despicable eating habits still involve killing animals.
Beef is the main meat of the United States and part of Western Europe, certainly France, and it's completely taboo in India. And the Indian taboo is a moral taboo. It has to do with the idea that animals have a soul. In fact, it could be linked into reincarnation, and that taking a life is a moral violation.
It's one thing to dine on the dead flesh of a creature you never saw before it appeared on your plate. But what if your culture demanded you eat an animal you knew and loved? In northern Benin, humans revere dogs for their loyalty and bravery. But here, dogs also figure in an unusual ritual. Every 4 years, the Besaribi people initiate boys into manhood. The process, a series of ceremonies including circumcision, hinges on a sacrifice. To honor their ancestors and bolster their sons' courage, the Besaribe kill and eat a dog. To many, a horrifying practice.
Dogs are not major sources of food for most people in the world. Of the people who do eat dogs in the world, there are the type where the dog is a ritual animal and it's some kind, the relationship with the dog is part of why you eat it. The other case is more like China, where it's protein. I mean, you know, there's dogs in cages in the markets, they'll have that one and they prepare it for you.
That wouldn't do in the US and Europe, where many people not only love their pets, but believe the animals go to heaven when they die. Of course, Americans also love to eat the meat of billions of animals slaughtered each year.
We treat dogs as children, and so they're part of our family. And the idea of eating your family, it's almost like cannibalism.
Benin's dog-eating ceremony dates back as far as anyone can recall. This year, Henda Etienne will lead the ritual.
Because my father is quite old, he has put me in charge of all the rituals in the village.
Dogs here live the way they do the world over, as neighborhood fixtures.
Compared to other animals, the dog is most magical. If a stranger arrives during the night, it is the dog who barks. If you go hunting, he is the one who catches the animal. When the bad spirits arrive, he is the one that sends them away. That is the reason why the Besaribe ceremonies are connected to the dog.
Some cultures, mostly in East Asia, treat dogs like cattle, just another kind of meat. But the Besaribe love dogs, especially dogs with brave hearts and loyal spirits. The very qualities people here hope to absorb when they eat the animals.
The soothsayer asks you to kill a dog so that the boy won't run away in fear during a circumcision. We don't give names to the other animals, but we give a name to the dog, because he is our companion.
This dog has a name, Patience. For 4 years, Patience has had a good life with his owner, Seiko. But Seiko has always awaited the day of reckoning. Coming up, the village starts its ritual, and Patience meets his fate. In Africa, no dog is more important than honoring the ancestors.
I follow the tradition. What our ancestors did is what I do. When we bought Patience, we knew that we were killing for the fetish.
Beneath the spreading baobab tree stands the symbol of ancestral spirit, the fetish. Before villagers can eat their share of dog, they must feed the spirit with sacrifices. Etienne's father will begin the ceremony. He appeases the spirit with millet beer and chicken blood.
At the beginning of the circumcision ceremony, we bring a chicken to the fetish of those who are going to be circumcised. That is our tradition. That is the tradition of our ancestors. Our ancestors, our parents, they are the ones to whom we give the chicken to open the circumcision festival.
Etienne realizes the chicken blood has awakened the ancestral spirit. The bird died quickly, but Patience must live up to his name. Ritual requires he be killed with a club. In some sacrifice, suffering is what makes it holy. The drummers work to arouse the spirit. Now Etienne must let the spirit know what is about to happen.
By making a circle around the fetish, I let him know that I will be sacrificing a dog.
Many in the village know and like Patience. They'll miss him.
I'm sad to kill the dog, but it is my ancestors who started the tradition.
In northern Benin, tradition is more important than sentiment. Etienne offers the dog's blood to the spirits. Out of respect, he leaves a piece of the tail.
When we think about animal sacrifices and dog sacrifices, we have to think about the larger context in which they're done and recognize that we all have different standards. I think the key here is to think about the symbolic value that sacrifice brings forth. And sacrifice is about giving up something in order to demonstrate a desire to be appreciated by higher powers.
Boys awaiting circumcision dance, readying themselves to eat the magic meat they believe will awaken the spirits of their ancestors. Before an audience of village elders, Etienne follows the preparation ritual. Each part of the dog is said to have a special power.
The nose of the dog is used in the making of amulets. When you use it to look for a girl, she's going to follow you faithfully, like a dog follows its owner.
To the spirit, Etienne offers roasted meat, the rest he boils. Everyone in the village will want a taste of the sacrificial meal.
When you eat the dog, you get good health, so everyone wants to take a little bit.
The elders dine first. The most sought-after part of the dog, the tail, goes to the oldest villager.
In the apportioning out the parts of the dog, the old people take the hindquarters, from the kidney to the tail. For any kind of animal with 4 legs, the elders always take the hindquarters. Because they are the oldest, they take the biggest and best pieces of meat.
Patience's former owner, Seiko, enjoys his portion.
When I eat it, I'm happy.
Once the elders have eaten, younger villagers take their turn. They hope the dog's meat will give them courage to endure circumcision.
I like to eat the meat because it's sweet. I'm happy and excited. This meat was not enough.
Finally, his work done, Etienne has a chance to eat.
Since we have eaten it today, none of us will have nightmares. We are very happy to have eaten it today. Now that we have eaten the dog, we can begin our ceremonies.
Now that the initiation rite has begun, the village dogs can rest easy. At least for another 4 years, when the next ritual occurs. All cultures define themselves through their foods and their food taboos.
Every culture has lots of things that they don't eat.
The rules surrounding what you eat are as powerful as those that guide religious life.
Eating is a really communal activity. It's very hard to survive if you don't have your fellows in society to help you gather and prepare food. And so who's surprised if the eating of food is also bound around with taboos, particularly taboos that tell us what group we're part of.
From simple taboos based on disgust to more complex ones involving moral revulsion, food taboos set us apart from one another.
Has nothing to do with protein, has nothing to do with nutrition. It has to do with our own culturally accepted boundaries about what it means to eat good food.
And as with arguments over religion, dietary debates often end in agreements to disagree. In a world where one culture's treat is another's torment, you have to decide for yourself what's food and what's taboo.